Okay, we're up and running. Looks good. Looks good. Green, green, green. A little bit of a drizzly day today. Bit chilly. Chilly, chilly. Yeah, the earthquake, of course, we felt it. I was being a bit sarcastic. I'm sorry, whatever. It was a big one. It was the biggest one in 10 years here, of course. It shook our building like crazy. I tried to get outside. It didn't make it. Drizzly Monday morning in Tokyo. It's going to be very, very quiet in Asakusa today. They had a big weekend. The bars had a big, big weekend, but it's Monday now, so it'll be very quiet today. Okay. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning. What's on the schedule today here? No dog carving this morning. What's in front of the sake bar? What's in front of the sake bar? You mean the one that used to be the coffee shop across the street? Nothing. Not sure what you're asking here, Korin-san. What's in front of the sake bar? Nothing's changed. The restaurant at the corner, the one with the blue awning, they're just at the moment, one guy is just rolling out one of the awnings, and they're going to start rolling out the other awning in a few minutes, I think. They're optimistic today. Optimistic. It's too bad the stream doesn't fit with their opening. They open at 11 o'clock. The place with the blue awning there. I don't know why they're getting ready quite so early. They open at 11 o'clock. And they are hustlers. They are the biggest hustlers on this street. Everybody is in super awe of them. The other restaurants maybe actually are a little bit, whatever. They are hustlers. And they have taken a lot of business. They have been busy every night. They're jammed. They have touts outside, the kids outside. Come on, we're good and warm. Come on in. And they really hustle. They work really hard. And they have taken a huge amount of business from other places on the street. One thing they do every morning that's really fun, I can't show it to you because it happens at 10:55 or 10:56 every morning, 7 days a week. They've been doing their cleaning, getting ready. They get the floor washed, get the tables set, get everything ready. The staff comes in, they get going. Then 5 minutes before they open, the staff all gathers around. And Tencho, the guy, the shop manager, and he has a pep talk. It's like a huddle with the staff before they open. They do a pep talk. And then in the last minute, he stands back, he holds them, and I can't even see what they said. They say, whatever, good day on Hoppy Dory. And the kids all chant, good day on Hoppy Dory. And he shouts, kill everybody. They just go through their little chant, like, Roish. And then they go out to the scrimmage line and play their game. And we all hear this, and it chants so loud, the printers upstairs are like, what's that? They hustle. We joked about it here. The printers upstairs said, Dave, you're not planning on doing this, are you? Yeah. So every morning before 9 o'clock, the printers all gather around, cut that line, print that paper, Okay, the job that's happening this morning, there's two jobs this morning. So with the rent they're paying, they'd better hustle, exactly. They're apparently paying 2 million yen for that place. And I've heard this now from 3 or 4 different sources, people who would know. They're paying 2 million yen a rent per month. And 2 million yen is like $20,000, give or take, for 1 month for that little tiny place in the corner. And it seats maybe, seats 40 people max. Whatever. Anyway, let's get to work. Okay, the carving today is 2 things. I'm going to be touching up some blocks. You saw me the other day carving the background block for the little new yokai set of prints. That's finished and tested. I proofed it yesterday. And the proofing showed me that we need some touch-up on the main yokai carving here. So we have to do that this morning. Let's have a look at the prints. Here is the first set of prints. How do I do this? Let's put them on the table here. It's like a show and tell. Any problems from the quake? No, not here. I know a bunch of stuff fell off our shelves upstairs. As I said, I tried to get outside, didn't make it. I couldn't put my pants on. I couldn't stand up. It was shaking that much. It woke me up. I had already gone to sleep just after 11 o'clock, and it woke me up. I tried to get outside because it was obvious this was a, what's the word? This was an earthquake worth paying attention to. But I couldn't stand up to put my pants on, so I just laid down, tried to put my pants on. By the time I got that done, it was pretty much over. Our building is okay. Nobody's hurt. None of our staff are affected as far as we know. Here are the new prints. This is not the old stuff I'm showing you. This is the new ones. These are the new ones. Let's look at the old ones for reference. That's the old set from back in the Taisho era, and this is our new set. I think what I'll do is, I did a test print quickly and I kept the background color light so that I could clearly see the front. We'll do it with maybe a bit of a darker gray like the original, I think. And ours, they're just so clean and white. I don't like it. I don't like it. The prints, the old prints are 100 years old, are just so nice and smooth and toned. Ours are too bright and too white. Anyway, today you can see, look at this. See the thickness of the grass here and the thickness of the grass? So today I've got to start adjusting these. I've got to get some more carving. Do I know anything about the name and provenance of the yokai? Some of them are actual things. This is clearly a kappa with the particular hairstyle. Other ones, I myself, I'm not a yokai expert, so I don't remember all the names, but there are names for most of these. This is the broken lantern that has the one that looks like a face. I forget her name. So there are names, yes, and by the time we get this onto the market, we will have it all documented, but I myself don't remember them, I'm sorry. So John's talking about this aging the paper. We could tone the paper, and then they would look cool now, but then 50 years from now, or then 100 years from now, they would be really not nice at all. They would be black and ugly. So we're just going to do it the natural way. Can't be helped. New prints are what they are. They're clean and white and bright. Woodblock prints are what they are. They've got their normal life. Okay, so what I've got to do now, let me get this block ready. Let's get carving. We'll just go around one by one. Let's start with the skeleton on the corner. I think we need a sharpening first. We need sharpening first. Let's use a little. We don't need all 3 stones today. The tip wasn't broken, just wanted to sharpen it up, then I'll clean it up. So I didn't use the strongest stone, the 400. Started with the 1000. Always again, these blades are so small that it just needs a really few seconds of work. There's no minutes and minutes and hours of sharpening. Because the area of metal is so small, it's done in seconds. The key point is just try and keep this bevel as flat as possible. Back side. And then take off the very fine edge. Back side, lift it up a hair, 1 or maybe 2 strokes. We just destroyed the very tip of the edge, but that's fine. If we put it in the wood just the way it comes from the stone, we'd break it right away. So. Looks good. Would you show how you go about feathering the edges on some lines to soften the effect? Well, there's none of that. There's none of that in this print, so I can't do that right now. But yeah, if you remind me when we're doing a color block sometime, it's called Ita Bokashi block gradation, and there's none of it here. But it's nothing dramatic. I know it's 2 steps. You just, instead of cutting straight down, you cut at a very beveled angle and you sand it. We don't use sandpaper. In the old days they had no sandpaper, so they used a reed. There's a plant called tokusa. It's like there's some outside. I went for a walk yesterday. There's some just near here. It grows around Tokyo. Tokusa. I don't know the English word for it. Tokusa. And it's got a rough skin on the outside of it, and it acts like a little bit of sandpaper. And if you want to soften some piece of wood, you rub the reed. Okay, let me focus on this for a little bit. Just what I want to do is I've got to compare here. I've got our version and the original version side by side, and we need definitely. She's carved a lot of these lines a bit too fat, and I'm actually a little bit disappointed in this. She's gone too fat all around this thing, so I'm going to have to spend quite a lot of time now thinning down some of these lines. It's much more difficult to recarve than it is just to carve them nice and thin to start with. I don't know if you can see the difference, I don't know. Anyway, let's go. The problem with this, of course, is for me to look at the original here to compare, I need my glasses. So it's glasses on to look at the original. Then looking through the scope, of course, there's no glasses. So it's glasses off again. So it's glasses on, glasses off, glasses on, glasses off. Are we in Asakusa? Yes, we're in Asakusa. This is a live camera view outside of one corner of Asakusa. It's the place called Rock Dori, District 6 Street. It's not rock and roll rock, it's number 6, Roku. Yeah, that's that to bring it here under the scope. Yeah. It's also how much can you remember? Let's see, you've got to get this one, this one, this one, cut back this, or just do one stroke at a time. The original's not perfect, you know. There's lots of things wrong with the original. They cut these boxes, and this whole guy's misregistered. He comes down into this box here. and it doesn't match the color at the bottom. So these original prints, this is not some high quality, wonderful, perfect job, you know. Some of them are broken. The corner on this is broken, they didn't bother fixing it. So this is not like we've got some masterwork here. This one too, look at this, the original one. The gray comes way out. So it's not like we've got some masterworks, but we would like to get a little bit more delicacy in my own job here. So let's have a go. This is not going to be hugely interesting, I'm sorry. So. So there was a couple of things I was supposed to talk about today, supposed to remember. Yeah, there it is, it's coming up. A couple of things I was supposed to talk about today. I found a link yesterday. The Yoshida studio here in Tokyo, the Tsukasa-san, the grandson of Hiroshi Yoshida, has finally become active on YouTube. They have a small, simple video that the studio put up. His wife, Kyoko, who plays the harp, has obviously done some camera work for him, and she's taken pictures of Tsukasa-san carving and their printer Numabi-san printing. Numabi-san he does work for us. So there's a new video. I posted a link to it earlier. I don't know if anybody has got it and can post it back up. How did I find that link? It shows as unlisted. I don't know. It came to me in a Google. I have a Google Alerts. And every morning in my email, Google shows me, or the Google system sends me different things that came online last night about woodblock printmaking. And I have a general alert in YouTube. If any new YouTube video about woodblock printmaking comes up, Google sends me an alert. So I clicked on it, and there's the thing. So unlisted, I'm sorry, I know nothing about that. Google, is it supposed to be secret? I don't know. If it's supposed to be secret, no idea. I don't believe so. I don't actually think it's all that interesting. It's a pretty slow cooking kind of approach they took there. But anyway, there it is. That's Tsukasa-san with a video. For those who don't know, the man carving in that new video is Yoshida Tsukasa. He's the grandson of Yoshida Hiroshi. Boy, oh boy, how much to do this, I don't know. And Tsukasa he's a bit older than me. I'll be 70 this year, and Tsukasa, I think, is 2 years or perhaps 3 years older than me. And the print you see them working on in that video is their New Year's card from this past New Year's season. How did I spend my day today? I carved skeletons. Am I off the video again? Part of the reason that her carved lines are thicker than the original is we didn't trace this thing. What I did was I took a high quality scan. I think I scanned it at 1200 DPI. I scanned the originals and printed them out on a laser printer on the thin gumpy paper, pasted it down, then sent it to her. And in the printing out and pasting stage, the lines do sometimes get a little bit thickened up, you know. And she's normally aware of this, so that she should, you know, carve on the thin side of these things rather than on the thick side. But this time I think maybe she got the idea this was a quick, cheap job, and she's just run through it, and it's too bad. It's going to take quite some time to do this, you know. Oh, big difference on this one. Look at this, big difference here. Look at the hair. They're all clean and open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here, they're blocked. That's fine, this is what I'm good at, so let's do this. It's okay. It's funny, carving a block after the sumi on it, it's plus and minus. It's, the plus is that you can really see what you've done. After you've sliced it, you can see where you've sliced because it comes up white. The minus is sometimes it's, well, of course, difficult to see because it's black. The neat, clean, clear hanchita, where you're carving a normal hanchita, it's vividly vivid. But now it's difficult to see sometimes. So it's plus minus. Plus minus. Also upstairs yesterday, Ishikawa-san was working. When I did the test printing on these yesterday, I sat down at Dei-chan's bench. Dei-chan is in Hong Kong on a family visit. One of her family members is quite sick, so she skipped back to Hong Kong. So I used Dei-chan's bench yesterday for doing this test printing. And next to me, Ishikawa-san was working. She's working on the woman with umbrella print. So I sat down, and Dei-chan's bench, it's a right-handed bench, printer's bench. They all are up there, so I'm constantly fumbling around trying to get the tools. Looks good here. And anyway, so after I did the first sheet of this, I flipped it over and showed her, what do you think about this? And she's like, is this really interesting? And I thought, well, people seem to be really interested in the yokai. I am too. I think it's kind of a fun print to make. And then, a funny thing, she asked me about, well, what's it going to cost and stuff like this? And I said, well, I haven't quite figured it out yet. We've got to figure out the royalty we're paying for the carver. And I said, it's only 3 colors to print, so it's going to be no big deal for that. She said, hey, only 3 colors? So I'm like, yeah, there's 3 colors. There's the yokai figures, the background, and the outlines. And she said, how much do we get for this? And I haven't yet figured out the final price, because the thing that I'm not able to calculate yet is the ancillary costs. We are going to make an envelope to put these in. We just don't throw the 10 prints out. So we're going to make an envelope with a woodblock printed cover. So it's the 10 prints going in a little washi envelope with a woodblock print on the front. So we've got to count all those costs, printing the cover, cutting the 10 prints. So there's lots of things still to figure out for the price, but it was clear to her that from the printer's point of view, only 3 colors. And she's just like, oh my God. Because the one she's doing right now, it's about 20, and it's got metal pigments and gofen and white, and it's a complex print. So she will be ready for an easy break like this. Oh, is that our Oshibori truck? I kept meaning to check on this. Are they still in business? Did you see him come by? Was it the Oshibori truck? Same guy. So they're still up, yeah. So the other day, the story I read, it wasn't this company. Or it was this company and somebody else has already stepped in. I don't know. No, it's the same truck. outside camera fuzzy. Is it raining on the camera? I think we're okay. I tried to put it underneath a little bit. I think we're okay. It's raining out there. Is there rain on the lens? I don't think so. It's the grasses, isn't it? Interesting. They could all be thinner. Why did she do that? That's easy stuff. Same thing too with this one, the hair. So I see in my newspaper this morning that finally over the weekend the government here did their thing. That the commission or committee or whatever it's called that is working on the vaccine, they finally approved that first vaccine for use in Japan. It's all just bureaucratic going around because the vaccine's already here. The plane arrived on Thursday or Friday delivering the first few million doses. But it wasn't approved yet. The approval happened, what was it, yesterday afternoon. So just bureaucratic, back and forth. I'm scheduled to be in the second group of people eligible for the vaccine. So the news reports tell me to watch out for, in the middle of March, I'll be getting a postcard in my mailbox. And I'll use the postcard to go to the website and make an appointment. So it looks like end of March or early April for me, chance to get my shot at last. But the way they've done it is a bit funny. The first group here in Japan is obviously it's medical people. It's hospital workers, frontline people, old age homes and stuff like that. First group. Then the second group is quite simply everybody over 65, which in Japan it's like 90% of the population or something. I don't know what the number is, but and it's going to be handled by the city. So in Japan, everybody's residence is known to the city. We have what's called a juminhyo, a residence record. So City Hall knows who lives in any given city. It's not who owns property. Property is a different thing. Property registration is something different. But who lives where? So whether you're bought your house or you're renting your house or whatever, you have your juminhyo, and your city knows that you're there. And the city tax and stuff are based on this. So Ome City knows that I live and my official residence is in Ome. So in my mailbox over in Ome, sometime in March, this vaccination notice will be coming. It won't be coming here to me in Asakusa. I don't live in Asakusa. I actually live legally in Ome. So Ome is my registered home, and that's where I pay taxes. And I will actually have to get on the train and get out there to get my vaccination. I can't get it happening here in Asakusa. Oh, look at that. There's also a point she's missed here. Look at this. Do you see this? I don't know how much you can see the detail here. There's a little tiny black mark in the middle there. On the original, it's not there. And she's forgot to clear. There's a piece of wood in there, and she forgot with her little chisel here too. She forgot to pop it out. It's not like Dave here has never forgotten these things. So the thing about that residence card is, because I don't live in Ome, I'm registered in Ome, but because I'm not there every day, the mailbox gets unattended. So they're going to drop this thing in the mailbox, and nobody will see it for weeks at a time. So I've asked the Ome staff that once it gets to this season, once this stuff starts to happen, please make sure they check the mailbox every time the staff is there and let me know when this card comes. So. That residence registration thing, there's a few aspects to it. That's the sort of legal thing where you're registered. But the City Hall and everybody out there, they know that the city registration doesn't actually match real life. Like for me, example, I actually sleep down here in Asakusa, although I'm not registered here. So the system has an extra aspect to it. When we first moved to Japan in 1986, we moved here. We rented our apartment. And of course, we went to City Hall and registered ourselves there. Everybody has to do this. We joined the healthcare system and blah, blah, blah. And as part of that, they knew where we were. But as I said, it doesn't sometimes match reality. So what else happened? A few weeks after we'd been in the apartment, there's a knock on the door one day. And I open the door, and there's a police officer standing there. Like, at this time, I couldn't speak Japanese worth beans or whatever. So my wife or kids, whatever, come to the door and help me with this. And the police officer wants to know, hi, welcome to the community. How many people are going to be in here? How many people are going to be living here? And my first reaction was, like, none of your business. Why is a policeman sitting at my door wanting to know how many people are going to be living here? My first reaction was, I'm a foreigner, hostility. And he's like, my wife is just like, relax, 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 relax. So I a bit more, what's going on? Why do you want to know this stuff? And he just told us, he said, well, look, on the night there's an earthquake and this thing falls down and we start pulling dead bodies out of here, we want to know how many people are supposed to be in here. We want to know what's going on. When you guys need help, the police office needs to know who's here and what's going on and who needs help. And I'm like, okay. And it's part of the community thing. We mentioned this before. When there is trouble, you've seen it in the big earthquakes and all the disasters that have happened. The communities do their stuff, but they've got to know what's in and what's gone and who's in there and how many people are supposed to be in there and how many people are out and safe and where is everybody. And Dave here is just hostile. This is an invasion of privacy. Why does the police want to know where I am? And I'm like, so I learned, just shut up, whatever. There's a system here. It's not an evil system. The police themselves could care less where I am or who I am. This was purely a public safety issue. I know somebody's asking about touching the border and stuff. I have moved all these things. The original pictures all had the sponsor's name on these. So when I took that out, I have shuffled things around. I've drawn some more grass on some of these. I've moved the thing left or right or up or down. So if you see some differences between the position here, it's touching the border, there's a bit of extra grass here. Yeah, there's lots of stuff like that. So we're not trying to make a reproduction here that is, what's the word? I don't know. A dot for dot. We're not trying to make a dot for dot reproduction here. So there might be one or more blades of grass chopped out, chopped in, moved out, shuffled around. So none of this is meant to be a perfect, absolute, exact reproduction. I just want pleasant looking prints that have a reasonable feel, similar to the original. So you look at the original here too. It's totally broken. They didn't care. It's smacked, it's bent here. This whole piece inside was falling over, and they didn't bother to fix it. Here too, this corner is broken, and the gray comes up past the line. So these original prints, this is not, this is not masterpiece work, But we can do a little bit better with some of this, absolutely. Not a very action-packed stream this morning, sorry. Whatever stuff I've got to get done. We've also, as part of publishing this, the prints are going to go in a little envelope, like I said, and there's the envelope, and on the outside of it, there's going to be a woodblock print stuck on the outside of the envelope. And it's going to have a title in Japanese. So I sent an email out to a bunch of the staff 2 or 3 days ago, asking them for suggestions on the title for this series. Because it has to be, it needs a label in the catalog, if nothing else. It needs a name and a title. And they sent back me dozens. But the funny thing, I sent email to 5 or 6 of the staff members, and they each sent back 2, 3, 4. They each sent back 8 or 9, and there were no overlaps. Out of all the suggestions for the titles that came from all the different staff members, there was not one single overlap. So I think I've got it figured out. And what we're going to do, I'm not going to start this morning, but this is probably going to be the label that's going to go on the front of the package. It won't have the black border around it. It'll have a thin black border around it. And I've stolen a kyosai design. We're going to print this just like you see here. And the current thinking is, we're going to print it on gampi paper. So it'll get printed on a thin sheet of gampi like this, and then pasted on the front of the envelope. So the set actually will be 11 prints. It'll be the 10 prints that go inside, and then it'll have the front cover print as well. And the cover for me, that'll be me. I don't dare have her carve that. That's too delicate. So whatever. Someone's asking Valentine's Day in Japan. I guess they do. It's sort of a bit of a weird thing. I don't know. Maybe in Corona they didn't do much. I didn't see much about it this year. February for us, it's a bunch of anniversaries. And my mother's birthday is coming up soon. I don't know if is my mother here this morning. She probably doesn't want to talk about birthdays anyway, so I think that's the deal with her. Oh, questions. What's this? Any chance you'll sell an uncut sheet? I had thought about it. I guess if somebody asks, we can do that. There wouldn't be any special packaging for it. I suppose so. No idea. In the catalog itself, it will be as a set of prints. The normal way of us putting this out into the world will be as a set of 10 in an envelope with the front cover. But if somebody wants uncut, like the stamp collectors, whatever, just ask us at that time. So. uncut sheet like stamp collectors. Absolutely. So it's me too. When I get to some of these, I know, match label prints. Of course, there was an auction came up a couple of weeks ago. We talked about it. That was for a whole bunch of uncut match label prints, and I really, really, really wanted that. So yeah, I get the feeling. But the normal product that's going to go out into the world will be the split up sheet, the split up prints. Well, the other thing I'm supposed to talk about today, Tom was going to remind me about it. Tom 1060. It's the half-life deal. It's tomorrow, I think. It's today or tomorrow or the day after, depending on how you calculate it. Tomorrow, according to my calculations, tomorrow is half of my life has been spent now in Japan. I moved here on July the 1st, 1986. We left there July the 1st. We left there June the 30th, whatever it was, and came here July the 1st. It's a date line crossing, 1986. And given when I was born in November of 1951, tomorrow apparently is half of my life here in Japan. And it's not exactly how to count it, because before coming to here to live, I had spent 3 months here and then 3 months again. We'd come twice at different times on traveling. But as far as where do I live, yeah, tomorrow is going to be. Did I know when I moved it was going to be forever? No, we had I had a 3 months tourist visa. We were here for 3 months, maximum 6, and then we were going to go back. We were just here to take care of her parents for a while, set them up in an older folks' place, get them off their farm. Dave was going to geek out and just travel around a little bit and get to know Japan. And the kids were going to just meet some friends and get a little bit of knowledge about Japanese. We really didn't know what was going on. The big problem for us was that I had applied for a cultural visa / student visa, and I'd been rejected. I'd applied to the consulate back in Vancouver. And in no uncertain terms, I had been rejected. Without a university degree, you cannot get one of those visas, period. You want a cultural visa here, you want a student visa here, you either have to be at a school or you have to have a degree. You want to be an English teacher here, you have to have a degree. I did not have one of those. So that was that. And the consulate just said, sorry, there's nothing we can do, So. But we came anyway. And what the consulate people hadn't told me, because they really, back in those days, they really were not trying to make it easy for people to come to Japan. They were trying to do the other thing. They were trying as much as they could to keep people away. It wasn't an official government policy. It was just all the bureaucrats knew the routine. Don't help these guys. Just don't, just whatever. So what the guy in the consulate hadn't told me was that if you are married to a Japanese person, you have right of residence in Japan. And here I am. I'd been going down to the consulate with this woman and these 2 kids, and there we are, and blah, blah, blah. And he had never actually said that. By the way, why don't you just apply for a spouse visa? You're married, right? And he had never said this, because as I said, their modus operandi was, don't be helpful. And they had not been helpful. So when we had arrived at the airport in 1986, the guy saw my tours, so he gave me a tourist stamp, and he said, this is your wife, right? These are your kids? This is your family? I said, yeah, of course, of course. He said, well, show me your marriage certificate, and I'll give you the visa. And it turned out, we learned just then, that if you're married to a Japanese, you get a visa, period. Bang, you can work, you can do whatever you want, you pay your taxes, you join health care, that's it. We were flabbergasted. Nobody had told us this. Remember, there's no internet for information back then. This is 1986, you know. And nobody had told us these things. And he says, just show me your marriage certificate. And we didn't have one because we weren't married. We were a couple. We had 2 kids. We'd been living together for years. We were, what's the word, common law in Canada. But common law is not enough for guys like this doing visas and stuff. And he just told us, he just laughed. He said, look, go. Here, you get a tourist visa today because that's all I can give you right here because there's no certificate. Go get married and go to your local immigration office, wherever it is you're going to be living, and they'll switch it to you. They'll switch it for you to a normal visa. So we did. And that changed things because we were stable. That meant we didn't have to think about running back to Canada right away. So we settled in quite a bit more. We had her parents come and live with us instead of just setting them up at an old folks home or something. We brought the parents in to live with us. So it was a very, very different story from then on. So. One thing led to another. And here we are. Here I am, and here you are. Is it wandering off the camera view? Where am I? Cutting here. Am I going to have another stream tomorrow for the Half-Life thing? No, we are busy. I'm sorry. We are busy, busy, busy. No. The Half-Life thing is just whatever, it's just a thing. And as I said, it's a bit difficult to nail down the exact date and time because whether you count the dateline thing, and also too, I was born in that time zone and I'm living in this time zone and we came from a different time zone. So there's no real way to nail this down absolutely to a minute. So it doesn't matter, it's just there's the concept, you know. Ooh, I've got to fix that, look at that. The thing about this is, I can clean these easily, but how clean to make them? In the original here, this is not ukiyo-e hairlines. The original is a bit messy. So it's difficult for me to slice this thinner and leave it messy. That's the tough part here. Same thing up top. It's very easy to put my ukiyo-e hat on and slice beautiful hairlines here. It's not so easy to carve them dirty. Yeah, the thing about the time zone is, I'm a sort of a smart guy, but this is one I cannot figure out. Before we moved to Japan, when my first daughter was born in 1983, my first daughter was born in the spring of '83, we were living in Vancouver, but her parents were in Japan and my parents were in Britain. So we wanted to take the new baby on a family tour. So we bought what's called a round-the-world ticket. It was with United Airlines and KLM and whatever. It was a combination. You could fly 10, 15, 20 flights if you want. You just keep going one way, one way, one way. Book a flight, book a flight, book a flight, book a flight. Within 1 year, you have to finish your ticket. And we did. We started in Vancouver, flew to Tokyo, later on flew to Hong Kong, to India, to Germany, to England, blah, 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 blah. But the point being was we left Vancouver and flew around the world to the west, crossing the date line, and came back to Vancouver. Now, my friends who had not left there didn't cross the date line. When we left on whatever day it was, November 1st, we flew out, we crossed the date line to jump to the future, jump to November 2nd, whatever. Then went round. We came back and landed in Vancouver. For our friends, it was January the 30th or something, and for us it was January 30th. So what happened to me? I jumped into the future. When we left on November 1st, jumped on November the 2nd, I still don't quite actually understand. I mean, I have lived the same number of minutes as the friend who stayed in Vancouver and didn't leave Vancouver. We both could have counted the same number of minutes. I mean, this is not Einstein relativity we're talking about here. But where did my day go? So it's a bit, where did my day go? I guess it works when you sit down and do the math, but it's not an easy thing for me to figure out. So we gained continuously. There's the hours we lost in the airplane, and then when we jumped to time zone, bit by bit. But we were always jumping. Well, now what did we do? We jumped into the future first, going to Japan, and then were we jumping into the past? I don't know. I don't remember. And we backed up. Okay. So it obviously makes sense if you've got a big piece of paper and a spreadsheet or something, sorted it out. I am here, and I'm no older or younger than I was before. But my daughter had real fun when she left Japan to go to Canada. She left on her birthday. This was April the 2nd in 1996. She's a very nearly an April Fool baby. She was supposed to be an April Fool baby. So she left here April 2nd. She had her birthday that morning. Congratulations, you're 12 years old, blah, blah, blah. We go to the airport. She gets in, flies over to Canada. She arrives in Canada on April the 2nd. There you are, have a birthday again. So she got herself a double birthday that time. Yeah, the dateline. It's whatever. The other, I can't say funny, that's not the word for it, the little glitch that comes up every year. When I was growing up, reading history and stuff, and you read about the wars and this and that, and we have these dates. There was this thing that happened at the beginning of the Second War called the Pearl Harbor attack, and it was December the 7th. Everybody knows this. When was Pearl Harbor? It was December the 7th, blah, blah, blah. Here in Japan, it wasn't. When the newspapers mention this each year, when it comes up the time to talk about this thing, the newspapers mention it, they talk about the attack that happened in Hawaii on December the 8th. Because when it happened, Japan itself, the main islands, were on December the 8th. Now, over in Hawaii, I guess it was still December the 7th. But it's just still a bit of a brain thing that I read this every year. And the attack on Hawaii from December the 8th. I'm thinking, that's not December the 8th, it was December 7th. But no, it wasn't, it was December the 8th. Not like they talk about it a lot here, but whatever. I thought it was going to be an earthquake alert on the phone for a second. It's just mail. The phones have the earthquake alert, so it would have been cool if we had an earthquake here, that my phone could start alerting us all. But that's not what it was. So. Coming along, coming along. Oh, Cameron's here. Good morning, Cameron-san. Hello, hello. Yeah. The baby slept through the whole thing. So good. It must have been for Cameron sometimes. And recently, there's a whole bunch of small earthquakes up in the area near where Cameron lives. It's an area that has constant, steady, regular small earthquakes. And this is not bad news. The kind of zone that has these steady small earthquakes, tension is not building up and you're not going to get a monster. So where Cameron lives, having an earthquake is not rare at all. It's weekly, Cameron, a couple of times a month, whatever. They get a shaking like this for a minute and it settles down and they're okay. And we feel him a little bit in Tokyo, and I look at the map and there it is, it's in Tochigi, up near where Cameron lives. He's in a zone that really gets a lot of small earthquakes. But this one was bigger. This one was bigger, so. Delivery. Oh, おはようございます。どうも。ありがとうございます。どうも。Thank you. どうも。It's a print delivery from one of the printers, from Kawai-san, the guy we call Mr. K. What's all the black marks? Show and tell. Look at this. What have I done? I haven't got anything done in another Okay. Yeah, this isn't the show and tell today. Okay, all right. Yes, we do have a show and tell. Sorry about that. No, not a Yahoo score. This is prints from one of our printers. It's from Mr. K. Prints I will have to open up this morning and then check to see if they're okay and then send off to our Ome workshop for shipping, packing and shipping. This is not a Yahoo score. I didn't get too many Yahoo scores recently. You know, it's getting expensive. I've missed more than I get. There was a beautiful, there was a book on Yahoo auctions the other day. I got to show this to you. It was, whatever. At my age, I want this. I'm trying to keep away from the I want. But there was a book the other day that was just so beautiful. Here we are. It's Kubota Bay, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. Kubota Bay something. Have a look at this. I was thinking I might be able to get it, but no. A whole bunch of people came in and wanted it. And it is the quality of printing, just the art. I'm not in anything interested in the art, but the quality of production of that book. I want to make things like that. Whatever. No. Okay, what we got today? Let me just small some of this. Again, just as I did the other day, with the show and tell the other day, I went upstairs, I grabbed one of the folders. You know, sometimes I show you things that is a set, or it's a single book, or something like that. It's a single unified thing. We look at it, we explain a bit, and away we go. The thing I brought a folder the other day. It was just a folder full of small postcard-sized prints. The folder I brought you down today is just another one of the folders here. And this one is, it's whiting out. Look at that, it's too bright. Anyway, it says chiyogami. 1,000 generations paper. I don't know what the word means. I don't know what the name means. Chiyogami. And what this is a folder of woodblock prints, but not woodblock pictures. Everything we're going to look at here over the next few minutes, this is made with the woodblock printing technique, but these are not pictures to make and hang up on your wall. They are woodblock prints. Now, what's the point of this? It's a pattern made as a woodblock print. What's the big deal? Who would buy this? Who would want it? Who would use it? What is it for? It's not, as you might first think, it's a book showing how different types of textiles were made. This is the shibori. You know, they tie some string around some fabric, dip it in, and you end up with this pattern. No, there are such books. That's not what this is. If I take this here, this one will give you a hint about this. Here's a piece that has been partly used. These sheets are sold in stationery stores, Can I say this? Housewives, whatever, would buy these sheets, take them home, and they would use them to make paper dolls with, or they would have a little sewing box and they would paste some of this paper on the outside to make a nice covered box. Or they would be folded up, a little bit of glue, make an envelope to pay your calligraphy teacher your monthly calligraphy fee. Yes, house husbands would also do this. Whatever. The era that this was happening, it wasn't. Men were not doing anything with this. But whatever. Things are what they are. They were what they were. So what they are, they're woodblock printed chiyogami, paper that was intended to be purchased, sliced up, and used for whatever decorative purpose you might have had in mind. And the lady of the house who was doing this, or the person who was doing this, would buy this, buy that. They wouldn't use the whole sheet. They would use a bit of it, and they would have a little shelf or a folder or something with all these different kinds of pieces of paper in it. And you would flip to your folder and, away you go. So people would collect this stuff, not to be collected for collecting, but collect to be able to use the patterns. And some of them are really nicely made, and some of them are pretty rough in the actual woodblock printing work. The purpose wasn't being to make beautiful prints. The purpose was, as I said, to make decorative paper. Scrapbooking, is that the word? Whatever. Craft paper, scrap paper, whatever. As you can see on this one, this is not a wonderful woodblock print. The pattern has been carved, and the printer took, to make that purple design, the printer took a good maybe 2 seconds to do this. Shop, shop, bang, shop, shop, bang, shop, shop, bang, whatever, a few seconds. It's, in general, it is really, really rough work. Yes, John's asking, I showed you one there was one green one and one red one. Yes, it's the same block, of course. We just use different pigment on the same block. Of course. Of course, when you went to the shop, you would probably see this one. It's a cherry pattern in blue, probably right beside it. There's a blue one, a pink one, a green one, a red one. Once they've got the blocks, they would print them in all kinds of colors to make the variations available to the consumers. Of course, of course, of course. This was a really popular one, this Shiborizome pattern. Really, really popular. Here we are. They're numbered. Number 150, number 180. So obviously the companies made these in batches, made them in groups. Stationery stores would buy them. And we have in our collection, we've got this folder, we've got dozens of such folders of this stuff. And we have some that are printed on actually really, really, really large sheets. And any number of different motifs, butterflies, cranes, birds, flowers, you name it. It goes on and on and on. Zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Not sure what to do here. Some of the ones here, there's a couple of things I meant that was curious to show. Let's see if I can find something here. Hang on a moment. Flowers, grasses, nature, the big, big popular scene. And of course, the woman who was doing this for using, she would pick a seasonal flower. Calligraphy, old Genji poetry done as calligraphy was a popular one. Where is it? Oh, it's back at that first page I showed you, actually. So this one. John's asking about the different colors. We've got the same thing printed in red and in blue. We also have the same thing, another option. This is the same thing that has been creped. Remember we saw the crepe paper books? Well, you could buy, of course, crepe paper. So this is the same thing, a piece of chiyogami. There's one. Here's the version flat, uncreped, and here's the same product creped up. That would, I suppose it would have been a bit more expensive. I don't know. No idea what the prices would have been. And they're a mix of traditional designs. What's with the more modern designs? Modern designs as in here's the company Isetatsu Ban. This is one of the most common. They still exist actually. They're still up there. They're in the Nezu area, not too far from here, maybe 10, 15 minutes walk from here. They still exist. And most of the stuff they sell now is, of course, it's offset printed, but they do still have some woodblock printed stuff in their catalog and in their shop. So this actually still does exist. That dragon would do as a picture, right? This is unusual. Mostly they're small repeated patterns. This is a larger repeated pattern. That would work as a print by itself. It's fun. That one's not so old. That's post-war, absolutely. Very common pattern. Are the wood blocks treated, or how do we prevent the mixing of the colors? You mean in the case when you're going to print the same block, you're going to do it blue today and then red tomorrow? What you do is, when you've got a block that you know you're going to be using for different colors, you treat it first with like a, what is it? The trade name here in Japan is ligroin. It's like a benzene. It's like the paint thinner type of stuff. If you wash your block with a paint thinner before you start printing, Then you print your orange for this. You can wash it off, and then you can use blue. And the orange hasn't really penetrated so much. You can still make your print with it, but it doesn't penetrate deep into the wood. You can wash most of it off and start again with a different color. Can we see the one with the family crests? What have I skipped? What am I looking at? Just a minute here. Say when. No, I'm not sure what you're after here. This is poetry. This is old-fashioned. These are fire brigade logo marks. Cherries here, cranes, family crests, family crests. This one? These aren't family crests, but is that the one you meant? I'm not sure if this is the one you meant. Let's have a look at these. These are not family crests, actually. Let's have a look at this one. These are lucky symbols. There's a group of 7. Well, I'm going to show off my lack of knowledge here. There's a group of 7 lucky symbols, and I can't remember what they all are. One is the clove, spices. One is the cloak of invisibility. I don't remember what they all are. But they're not crests. They're symbols of the black background. It'll be sumi ink, or it could be, yeah, it's ink. It's just printed. I'm not sure. It's got a bit of an oily tone to the back here. I don't know. No, it's normal stuff. It's normal printing. Maybe double impression to get it nice, good, thick, and rich and black. This is another similar one. This is the similar, in fact, these are the same symbols repeated. This is the little bag full of money. This is the crossed scrolls. I don't remember the derivation of them all. This is much more poorly printed, much more poorly printed. But same company. They're numbered sequentially, 150, 180. It's funny, they ran off the edge, just carved too much. It didn't make any difference. This black is nowhere near as nicely printed. Ooh. Double impression, can I? This is black to die for. This is not so well done. Same company, totally different level of quality. I'm missing part of the conversation. I'm sorry. Anyway, there you are. You know, my point about a lot of this stuff, is to try and show that woodblock printing was a technology. It was in lots of different parts of society. It wasn't just the famous old ukiyo-e prints that we all know about. So our collection here at Mokuhankan reflects this. We have those menus. We have all kinds of stuff. We have food wrappers. We have tons and tons and tons of food wrappers. Lots and lots and lots. There's none of these in the online part of our collection yet. We will be, as soon as we can get to it, we'll be shooting some of these and putting it on there. Bit by bit by bit, over the years, the collection is going to come together. Anyway, just another small window again this morning on one other aspect of woodblock printmaking that perhaps some of you weren't familiar with. Whatever. Can I zoom in? Can I zoom out? Can I zoom in? Can I zoom out? I don't know. Whatever. This is kabuki. These are it'll be part of a playbill for a kabuki play, I think. And this looks like a joruribon, the text for kabuki singing. This one is really not nicely made at all. If you want more of these, I have folders and folders and folders and folders upstairs of these. It just doesn't. Well, here's another one. The same lucky symbols. This was a thing. This was a thing. It was the shiho, the 4 corners, the bag of rice, the mortar, the lucky hammer. Someone said poetry. Here's the. I said poetry, but I may have spoken too soon. This may be kabuki chanting, It may be part of a vocalization for a kabuki play. A kanjincho. Yes, this is kabuki. This is kabuki. These are texts, part of a song from different famous kabuki plays. Kanjincho is one of the most famous kabuki plays of all time. So I spoke too soon when I said delicate poetry. That's not what this one is about. And these inflection marks, this is for singing. This is actually lyrics. Okay, enough. I got to get busy. I got tons of things to do here today. Tons of things to do. Okay, enough. We finished off not with a very big bang here today, but such as it is. I've got to now get to work. Okay, guys, thanks very much. This Monday morning, I'll be seeing you again in 3 more days. And the carving will be, I'm not sure, it could be one of 2 things. It could be carving back on our dog, or it could be the carving of the cover picture that's going to go on our yokai. I think that's going to take me more than a couple of days to do. So almost certainly next Thursday's carving will be the cover sheet that's going to go on our yokai set. That'll be Thursday morning's stream here. Thanks very much for putting up with this. See you then. See you next time. Take care, guys. Thank you very much. See you soon in a few days.